not so happy fact, found in UNICEF's 2013 report, Female Genital Mutilation and Cutting, a statistical overview and exploration of the dynamics of change. Female genital mutilation has been inflicted on approximately 200 million girls and young women. In the 30 countries where it is practiced, mostly in Africa, about 30 million girls within the next decade are at risk of the knife, the razor, a glass shard, to cut their clitoris or remove it altogether. In half of these countries, the majority of girls are cut before the age of 5. 5! In the rest of the countries, most cutting occurs between 5 and 14 years of age. As many as 30 million girls are at risk of being cut over the next 10 years if current trends persist. In a man, it would range from amputation of most of the penis to removal of all of the penis. Short-term results include tetanus, hemorrhages, cuts to the urethra, bladder, and vaginal walls. Long-term results, chronic uterine infections, increased agony and danger during childbirth, and of course, early deaths. However, overall, it is on the decline, with a percentage of girls between 15 and 19 who have been cut, declining from 51% in 1985 to 37% today.
My vagina is angry. It is. My vagina is furious, and it needs to talk. It needs to talk about all of this shit. It needs to talk to you. I mean, what's the deal? An army of people out there looking for ways to torture my poor ass, gentle, loving vagina, coming up with psycho products and nasty ideas to undermine my pussy. Vagina motherfuckers. all of this shit, they're constantly trying to shove us up, clean us up, and make it go away. Well, my vagina's not going away. It's staying right here. I mean, let's talk about tampons. A dry wad of fucking cotton stuffed up there. Why can't they find a way to suddenly lubricate the vagina? As soon as my vagina sees it, it goes into shock. Refuses entry, closes up. Forget about it. You need to work with my vagina. Introduce it to things. Prepare the way. That's what foreplay is all about. You need to seduce my vagina, convince my vagina, engage my vagina's trust. You can't do that with a dry wad of fucking cotton. All of these products trying to constantly stuff us up and clean us up. My vagina doesn't need to be cleaned up. It smells good already. Don't try to decorate. Don't believe him when it tells you it smells like rose petals, when it's supposed to smell like pussy. That's what all of these products trying to make our vagina smell like bathroom spray or garden. All these douches, berry, floral, rain. I don't want my pussy to smell like rain. It's like you are washing the fish after you ordered it. I want to taste the fish. That's why it's on my plate. Then there's those exams. Who thought them up? As soon as my vagina knows about these exams, it gets defended weeks in advance. It refuses to come out of the house. What's with the scary paper dress that that scratches your tits and makes you feel like a wad of paper that someone threw away? What's with the rubber gloves? What's with the light all working up against gravity like Nancy Drew? What's with the Nazi cold syrups? What's with the mean gold duck lips? My vagina refuses to come out of the house. And then, you get there. Scoot down. Relax your vagina. Why? So you can shove mean cold duck lips up inside me? I don't think so. Why can't they find some nice purple velvet to wrap around me, lay me down on a feathery cotton bedspread, wear some friendly pink or blue gloves, put my feet in some fur-lined stirrups, warm up the duck lips, work with my vagina. Oh, so you have all these tortures, fucking cotton, you have mean cold duck lips, and then the thong underwear. Who invented those? Getting all stuck in your butt and extra crustiness. Vaginas are meant to be loose and wide, not held together. That's why girdles are so bad. Our vaginas need to move and spread and talk and talk. Our vaginas need comfort, something to give them pleasure. But no, hate to see a woman having pleasure, especially sexual pleasure. Imagine a nice pair of soft cotton underwear with a little French tickler built in. Women would be coming all over the place, coming in the supermarkets, ooh. Coming on the subway, ooh. Happy coming vaginas. They would hate to see that, all those energized, not taking shit, hot, happy vaginas. My vagina, if it could talk, it would make vagina impressions. It would talk about other vaginas. It would talk about itself, just like me. My vagina would only wear Harry Winston diamonds. No clothes, just draped in diamonds. My vagina helped release a giant baby. It thought it would be doing more of that, but it's not. But it wants to travel, and it wants more personal time. It wants to read and go out and discover things. It wants sex. It loves sex. It's hungry for death. My vagina wants kindness. It wants comfort. It wants silence and freedom and warm kisses and gentle touches. It wants to scream. It wants to stop being angry. It wants chocolate. It wants trust. It wants kindness. My vagina, it wants to want. My vagina wants. Well, my vagina, it wants everything. This piece is dedicated to the women of Bosnia. My vagina was
There is something between my legs. I do not know what it is. I do not know where it is. I do not touch. Not now. Not anymore. Not since.
My vagina was chatty. Can't stop saying words, talking. Can't quit trying. Can't quit saying. Oh yes. Oh yes.
Not since I dreamed there is a dead animal swimming down there, with a thick black fishing line. The bad dead animal smell cannot be removed, and its throat leaks, and it bleeds through all my summer dresses.
My vagina singing all girl songs, all girl bell ringing songs, vagina home songs.
Not since the soldier put a thick long rifle inside me. So cold. The steel rod cancelling my heart. Don't know whether I can fire it or shoving through my spinning brain. 6 of them. Monstrous doctors with black masks shoving bottle at me too. They were sticks and the end of a broom.
My vagina swimming river water, clear water spilling over sun-baked stones. Click, stone, over and over.
Not since I heard my skin tear and make lemon screeching sounds. Not since a piece of my vagina came off my head. A part of the lip. Now, one side of the lip is completely gone.
My vagina, alive, wet, water village. My vagina, my hometown.
Not since they took turn for 7 days, smelling like feces and smoked meat. They left their dirty sperm inside me, and I became a river of poison, burst, and all the corpses died in the fish.
My vagina, alive, wet, water village. They invaded it, butchered it, and burned it down.
I do not touch now.
Do not visit.
I live somewhere else.
I don't know where that is.
This is monologue in Khmer. If everyone is translation, please open the program. សបុតផ្លូវខ្ញុំមិនមែនជាសបុតអញ្ជើញមិនមែនជាការតាក់ទាញមិនមែនជាសញ្ញាថាខ្ញុំចង់បាន
ថាខ្ញុំចង់ឲ្យ
ឬខ្ញុំហាច់ឡើយ
សមុទ្រផ្លូវខ្ញុំមិនមែនសុំអង្វរវាមិនចង់ឲ្យអ្នកទាញវាចេញឬហាច់វាចុះទេ
សបុតផ្លូវខ្ញុំមិនមែនជាការអស់សំស្ដាប់អត់តែមកមើលខ្ញុំទេទោះបីពីមុនវាអញ្ចឹងប៉ុន្តែឥឡូវអត់ទេក្នុងកលាការថ្មី
សមុទ្រផ្លូវខ្ញុំជឿឬក៏មិនជឿអត់មានតើតើនឹងឯង
ពុតផ្លូវខ្ញុំគឺជាការស្វែងយល់នៃកម្លាំងពពួនជើងខ្យល់កដឹកផាយផាក់ប៉ះផ្លូវរបស់ខ្ញុំជាការអនុញ្ញាតឲ្យខ្ញុំឃើញឲ្យខ្ញុំគិតសពុតផ្លូវខ្ញុំមិនមែនជាគាត់ថាខ្ញុំងាយមើលមិនចេះថាខ្ញុំជាក្មេងស្រីមិនដឹងអីទេ
សមុទ្រផ្លូវខ្ញុំជាការជំទាស់ខ្ញុំមិនចង់ឲ្យអ្នកមកបំភ័យខ្ញុំទេសមុទ្រផ្លូវខ្ញុំមិនមែនអួតទេណាតែវាជារបស់ខ្ញុំមិនពេលដែលអ្នកឲ្យខ្ញុំគ្របវាឬសមុទ្រក្នុងផ្នែក
សូមឲ្យសពុតផ្លូវខ្ញុំគឺជាភាពរីករាយខ្ញុំឈរនៅលើដីខ្ញុំឈរនៅទីនេះហើយខ្ញុំស្អាត
សម្ពុតផ្លូវខ្ញុំជាការរំដោះទូនជាតិកងទ័ពស្ត្រីខ្ញុំប្រកាសថាផ្លូវនេះផ្លូវទាំងអស់នេះជាប្រទេសវិមាន
សពុតផ្លូវខ្ញុំនេះជាទឹកសមុទ្រជាត្រីប្រព័ន្ធជាលិខិតបនរដូវក្តៅជាកាយលើមេឃជាបក្សីត្រីជ្រៀងជារថភ្លើងចូលដល់ទីក្រុងថ្មីសពុតផ្លូវខ្ញុំជាការមើល
ជាតិរបស់ខ្ញុំ
Memory, December 1965, 5 years old. My mama tells me in a loud, scary, life-threatening voice to stop scratching my coochie snorcher. I become terrified that I've scratched it off down there. I do not touch myself again, even in the bath. I'm afraid of the water getting in and filling me up so I explode. I put Band-Aids over my coochie to cover the hole, but they just fall off in the water. I imagine a bathtub plug up there, a stopper to prevent things from entering in me. I sleep with 3 pairs of Happy Heart pattern cotton underpants underneath my snap-up pajamas. I still want to touch myself sometimes, but I don't. Mamrie, 7 years old. Edgar Montaigne, who is 10, gets angry at me and punches me with all his might between my legs. I limp home. I can't pee. My mama says, "What's wrong with your coochie snorcher?" And I say, "Mama, this is what happened to me." And when she finds out what Edgar did to me, she gets angry at me and says never to let anyone touch me down there again. And I try to explain to her, "He didn't touch it, Mama. He punched it." Mamrie, 9 years old. I play on the bed, bouncing and falling, and impale my coochie snorcher right on the bedpost. I make loud, high-pitched screaming noises that come straight from my coochie snorcher's mouth. I get taken to the hospital, and they sew me up down from where I've been torn apart. Mamrie, 10 years old. I'm at my father's house, and they're having a party upstairs. Everyone's drinking. I play alone downstairs in the basement, and I'm trying on my brand new white cotton bra and panties that my father's girlfriend gave me. Suddenly, my father's best friend, this big man Alfred, comes up from behind and pulls my new underpants down and sticks his big, hard penis right into my coochie snorcher. I scream! I try to fight him off! But he already gets it in. And then my father's there, and he has a gun. And there's this loud, horrible noise. And blood all over Alfred and me. Lots of blood. I'm sure my coochie snorcher's just finally fallen out. Alfred is paralyzed for life. And my mama doesn't let me see my father for 7 years. Mamrie, 13 years old. My coochie snorcher is a very bad place. It's a place of pain, nastiness, invasion, punching, and blood. It's a site for mishaps. It's a bad luck zone. I imagine a freeway between my legs, and I'm traveling, going far away from here. Memory, 16 years old. There is this gorgeous 24-year-old in our neighborhood, and I just stare at her all the time. One day, she invites me into her car. She asks me if I like to kiss boys, and I say, I do not like to do that. And then she says she wants to show me something. And she leans over and kisses me with her lips so softly on my lips. And then she sticks her tongue in my mouth. Wow. She asks if I want to come over to her house, and then she kisses me again. Tells me to relax, to feel it, to let our tongues feel it. She asked my mama if I can spend the night, and my mother is delighted that such a beautiful, successful woman has taken an interest in me. I'm scared, and I cannot wait. Her apartment's fantastic. She has it hooked up. It's the 70s, the beads, the fluffy pillows, the mood lights. I decide right there, I want to be a secretary when I grow up. The pretty lady makes herself a vodka, and she asks me what I want to drink. I say the same as she's having, and she says she doesn't think that my mama would like me drinking vodka. And I say she probably wouldn't like me kissing girls either. And the pretty lady makes me a drink. And then she changes into this chocolate satin teddy. Oh, she's so beautiful. I say, you look great. And she says, so do you. And I say, but all I've got is this white cotton bra and underpants. And then she changes me into another satin teddy. It's lavender, like the first soft days of spring. The alcohol has gone to my head, and I am loose, and I am ready. There's a picture over her bed of a naked black woman with a huge afro. And then she gently lays me out and shows me everything. She does everything to my coochie snorcher that I always thought was nasty before. And wow. I'm so hot, so wild. She says, your vagina untouched by a man smells so fresh, so nice. I wish I could keep it that way forever. I get crazy wild. And then the phone rings. And of course, it's my mama. I'm sure she knows. She catches me at everything. I'm breathing so heavy, and I try to act normal, and I get on the phone, and my mama says, what's wrong with you? Have you been running? And I say, no, Mama, I'm exercising. And then she says to the beautiful secretary to make sure that I'm not around any boys. And the pretty lady says, trust me, there's no boys around here. Afterwards, she does everything to my coochie snorcher and teaches me everything about my coochie snorcher. She makes me play with myself in front of her and shows me all the different ways to give myself pleasure. She's very, very thorough. She says, I always need to know how to pleasure myself so I never need to rely on a man. In the morning, I'm worried that I've become butch because I'm so in love with her. She laughs, but I never see her again. I realized later that she was my surprising, politically incorrect, and very unexpected salvation. She transformed my sorry-ass coochie snorcher raised it into kind of a heaven.
I call it cunt. I've reclaimed it. Cunt. I really like it. Cunt. Listen to it. Cunt. See. Ka. Cavern. Cackle. Clit. Cute. Come. Close. Inside. Coming. Inside. Come. Inside. See. Then you. Snake like curvy you. Uniform under. Then nice. Nexus. Now. Nest. Nice. Sharp. Wicked. Electrical. Then tea. Soft. Tangy tea. Time. Texture. Tell me, cunt, say it with me, cunt, cunt.
A 6-year-old girl was asked the following questions. If your vagina got dressed, what would it wear?
Red high tops and a men's cap worn pants.
If it could speak, what would it say?
It would say words that begin with V and T. Violin and turtle are examples.
If your vagina, what does your vagina remind you of?
A pretty dark peach. Or a diamond I found in a treasure and it's mine.
What's special about your vagina?
Somewhere deep inside, it has a really smart brain.
And what does your vagina smell like?
Snowflakes.
I love vaginas.
Women pay me to dominate them, to excite them, to make them come. I did not start out like this. No, to the contrary. I started out as a lawyer. But in my late 30s, I became obsessed with making women happy. It began as a mission of sorts, but then I got involved in it. I was very good at it, kind of brilliant. It was my art, and I started getting paid for it. It was as if I had found my calling. I wore outrageous outfits when I dominated women. I wore lace, silk, leather, and I used props, whips, handcuffs, rope, dildos. But there was nothing like this in tax law. There were no props. There was no excitement, but I also hated those blue corporate suits. Although I do wear them now in my new line of work, and they serve quite nicely. There was no props in corporate law. There was no wetness, no dark mysterious foreplay. There were no erect nipples. There were no delicious mouths. But mainly, there was no moaning. Not the kind I'm talking about, anyway. You see, this was the key. I became addicted and seduced into making women happy. When I was a little girl and I would watch women in the movies making love, making strange orgasmic sounds, I used to laugh. I got strangely hysterical. I couldn't believe that those big, loud, outrageous, ungoverned sounds like that came out of women. I longed to moan. I practiced in front of the mirror, on a tape recorder, moaning in various keys, various tones. But always, when I played it back, it sounded fake. It was fake. It wasn't rooted in anything sexual, really. Only in my desire to be sexual. But when I was a little girl and I was 10, I was on a car trip, and I had to pee really badly once. And when I finally got to pee in this dirty little gas station, it was so exciting. I know. I couldn't believe it. Me, moaning in this Texaco station in the middle of Louisiana. I realized then that moans aren't connected with getting what you want right away, but with putting things off. I realized that moans were best when they came as a surprise and they came out of this hidden part of you that was speaking its own language. I realized that moans were in fact that language. I became a moaner. It made most men anxious. Frankly, it terrified them. I was loud and they couldn't concentrate on what they were doing. They'd lose focus, and then they'd lose everything. We couldn't make love in people's homes. The walls were too thin. And I got a reputation in my building, and people stared at me with contempt on the elevator. See, most men thought I was too intense. Some called me insane. I began to feel bad about my moaning. I got quiet and polite. I made noise into a pillow. I learned to choke my moans and hold it back like a sneeze. I was becoming hopeless when I discovered women. I discovered that most women loved my moaning. And I discovered how deeply excited I got when other women moaned, when I was responsible for other women moaning. And you see, I made love to quiet women, and they found this place inside them that shut themselves. And I made love to moaners, and they found a deeper, more penetrating moan. And it was a surgery, a kind of delicate science, finding the tempo, the exact location or home of the moan. That's what I called it. Sometimes I found it over a woman's jeans. Sometimes I snuck up on it, off the record, quietly disarming the surrounding alarms and moving in. Sometimes I used force, but not the violent, oppressing force. No, more like the dominating, sit back, enjoy the ride kind of force. Sometimes I found the moans before things salad. Just casual, right there with my fingers. Here it is, just like that. Just simple in the kitchen, you know, all mixed in with the balsamic vinegar. Sometimes I use props. I loved props. Sometimes I made the woman find her moan right in front of me. I waited, stuck it out until she opened herself. I wasn't fooled by the minor, more obvious moans. No, I pushed her further, all the way into her power moan. There's the clit moan. Ah. There's the vaginal moan. Ah. There's the combo clit vaginal moan. Ah. Oh. Oh. There's the almost moan. There's the right on it moan. Oh yeah! There's the elegant moan. There's the grace slick moan. There's the Jewish moan. No, no! There's the black moan. Oh shit! There's the Irish Catholic moan. Please forgive me. There's the mountaintop moan. There's the baby moan. There's the doggy moan. There's the uninhibited, militant, bisexual moan. There's the wasp moan. There's the machine gun moan. There's the tortured Zen moan. There's the diva moan. And it's the new. There's the college moan. I should be studying. Oh, I should be studying. And finally, there's a surprise triple orgasm moan. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Oh, right there. Oh, yes. Oh, God. Oh, yes. Oh, my God. Oh, yes. Daddy. Oh, God. Yes. Oh, oh.
I was there, Luna. I was there when her vagina opened. We were all there. Her mother, her husband, and I, and a nurse from the Ukraine with her whole hand up there in her vagina, feeling and turning her rubber globe as she talked casually to us, like turning on a loaded faucet. I was there when the contractions made her crawl on all fours, made unfamiliar moans leak out of her pores, and just there after ours, when she just screamed suddenly wild, her arms striking the electric air. I was there and saw her vagina change from a shy sexual hole to an archaeological tunnel, a sacred vessel, a Venetian canal, a deep well with a tiny stepchild inside waiting to be rescued. I saw the colors of her vagina. They changed. Saw the bruised, broken blue, the blistering tomato red, the gray pink, the dark. Saw the blood-like perspiration along the edges. Saw it pushing harder and harder. Saw through the hole, pushing harder and harder. And there behind, saw the boom, a heart-round memory as the nurse from the Ukraine kept turning silvery. I was there later when her mother and I held the leg and spread her wide, pushing with all our strength against her. Pushing, and her husband sternly counting. 1, 2, 3. Telling her to focus harder. We looked into her then. We couldn't get our eyes out of that place. We all forget the vagina. All of us. What else could explain our lack of awe, our lack of reverence? I was there later when the doctor reached me with Alice in Wonderland spoons. Just there's the vagina became a wide operatic mouth, singing with all its strength. First the little head, then the gray flopping arm, then the fast swimming body swimming quickly into our weeping arms. I was there later when I just stood and faced her vagina. I stood and let myself see her all split, completely exposed, mutilated, swollen and torn, bleeding all over the doctor's hands as he was calmly sewing her there. I stood and her vagina became a wide, red, pulsing heart. The heart is capable of sacrifice. So is the vagina. The heart can forgive and repair. It can change its shape to let us in. It can expand to let us out. It can stretch for us, ache for us, die for us, and bleed us into this wondrous, difficult world. I was there, Lou. I remember.
Ladies and gentlemen, we hope that you have enjoyed the show thus far. For the last portion of this production, we have a very special woman who's going to come and speak about experiences that are going to be highlighted through V-Day. V-Day is an organization that is connected to Vagina Monologues, and through their spotlights this year, they want to have a focus on women who have recently been incarcerated or detained. So please welcome Vagina back to the stage, and she will share a story of a woman here in Cambodia.
Tonight, we want to share a story with you, a very important one, about Aisha, a Cambodian young woman who was a prisoner during the democratic Cambodia. As we all know, the Khmer Rouge regime. In July 17, 2009, an interview was conducted and a book was created by the Document Center of Cambodia, and it's called The Jihad of Cambodia, The Memories of Young Muslim Women After the Khmer Rouge. First, we want to thank the center for giving us permission to share this important story with you guys. And I'm honored to be reading this story to you. Koc Yang prison was one of the most notorious prisons in democratic Cambodia, holding the estimated of 50,000 inmates during the operation under Kiev. The prison chief. Located on Koc Yang Island in Senegal, the prison complex was vast, about 2 kilometers wide. The prisoners came from various provinces, including Senegal. The length of imprisonment could be as long as 1 year. The prison complex has 3 main buildings and a house. One building served as an office, the other to held prisoners, while the house belonged to Kiev. Aisha arrived at the prison after several hours of walking along a mountain range and traveling by boat. When she arrived, she was put into the female prison cell, where she was shackled and handcuffed. She stated that the most of the time, female prisoners had to lock and unlock their own shackles and handcuffs. She was isolated from her parents and her community. Being in prison was torture for her. 3 days later, she was walked by a guard to the interrogation room. A shackle was removed from her ankles, but her hands remained handcuffed. A guard walked her to a room and ordered, "Come here. Come to the interrogation room." She then walked behind the guard, who led her to Kip's house. The guard walked her to the veranda of Kip's house, where the interrogation took place. His house was located about 100 meters from her jail cell. She said that men were interrogated in a separate room inside Kip's house. There were 3 persons on the veranda: a guard, a note taker, and the interrogator, who also administered torture. She recalled, when I arrived at the interrogation cell, I saw that several men were already inside. The interrogator asked me, "Did you commit a moral offense?" I replied, "No, I did not commit such an offense. In fact, I missed my parents and I wanted to see them, but Bianca did not let me go. However, I still went. Suddenly, I was suffocated with a plastic bag over my head. I could not breathe normally. Then the interrogator picked me with a wooden club, the size of a child's wrist, and I was suffocated again. It was very painful. Being afraid, ashamed, and in pain, I ate excrement and urine, and then fainted. I was sent back to the cell. Aisha's stories differed from other accounts of interrogation under the democratic Cambodia regime. The interrogator did not begin this with questions such as, "Why were you arrested?" or "Why did you write a forged letter?" Instead, he accused her of other crimes. "You committed a moral offense, right?" and urged her to confess accordingly. However, she did not. When recounting the interrogation and torture, I observed that she was emotional and her voice was shaky. But she continued the story. After 4 or 5 days, the second interrogation took place. She was sent to the same place where she was tortured before. same strategy was employed and the same question was asked. Aisha's answer also remained the same. I miss my parents. That's why I went home without asking the uncle's permission. The same torture was inflicted on her, but she kept repeating the same answer. She said that during the course of the interrogation, she did not give any silly or inconsistent answers or say more than a few words to avoid excessive torture. However, being unsatisfied with the answer, the interrogator tortured her until she fainted again. She recalled, "They beat me mercilessly until I lost consciousness for half an hour at a time. When I was conscious, they tortured me again. I refrained from screaming. In my head, I feared, I suffered, but I did not know where to find help, except declaring Shahada, one of the 5 pillars of Islam. By so doing, it means that if I die from torture, I die in the name of Islam." Afterward, they took Aisha back to her cell. In this situation, research argues one motive for inflicting physical pain is to destroy the victim's ability to resist or defend themselves, thereby eliminating any evidence of challenge to their charges and torture. During her imprisonment, she did not worry about sexually abused. Instead, she worried constantly about being killed. She said there were about 20 other female prisoners in the same building as her. She remembered that the building faced east. After 3 interrogations, Aisha was kept in her cell to await a decision on whether to release or execute her. In general, prisoners' confessions were submitted to the chief of the prison, then to zone leaders, then to senior leaders, depending on nature of alleged crime. Some prison chiefs had the authority to make decisions on the fate of prisoners. Those found to be a threat to the Kaonka were executed immediately, while those who were perceived to be no threat was released. However, release did not mean a return to the cooperative. Released prisoners had to re-educate themselves inside the prison to pass the revolutionary consciousness stage. Fortunately, Aisha was not executed. She was forced to re-educate herself until she passed this stage. Aisha speculated that she was released because she was a former leader of a children's unit and because she was a peasant. Although the interrogation ceased, Aisha was still shackled at night. She said, "I feel a little better because I was no longer interrogated and tortured. But still, I suffered from my own wounds." Thank you. with you tonight. Just a few things that we need to do. Tonight's our last night, so we need to thank all the amazing people who contributed to the show. First of all, a big round of applause for Chinese House for getting this venue to They were incredibly supportive throughout not only our performances here with Vagina Monologues, but also Phnom Penh's first feminist festival. We also have one of the best crews ever who worked with us and who volunteered their hearts, their souls, their tears, everything, and ensured that everything went as smoothly as they did. So I need to call a few people up here. First are our sound and tech gentlemen, Mark and Jed. Other amazing supporters is our all-around handyman who solves problems all the time is Rob. We also have just an amazing production team, which involves Phoebe and then we also have our amazing, lovely, visionary director.
We couldn't have done this without our amazing team, particularly Emily, Alex, and Phoebe. They didn't just put on the show with me, they put on a whole festival. They had no idea what they signed up for, and they still pulled through, and I'm just going to be grateful forever. So thank you.